President Trump's May 12th deadline for making a decision on the Iran nuclear deal is fast approaching. The president promises to reimpose sanctions on Iran unless European allies could agree on a deal to fix problems with the nuclear pact. Jonathan Schanzer is with the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, a former terrorism analyst at the Treasury Department. This president is taking a hard line on the Iran agreement, but in some respects his hands are tied, are they not, Jonathan?
Well, no, I think the president is taking a hard line, and I think it's about to get harder. He's got John Bolton coming in as National Security Advisor. He's got Mike Pompeo coming in as Secretary of State. And so I think the pressure right now is really on the Europeans. They have some tough choices to make and a deadline that is fast approaching.
Well, but the Europeans have to sign on with many of the changes or any changes that the president would like to make to what is an international accord, do they not?
They do. And, for the last several months, the Trump administration has been negotiating with the Europeans. They've been dragging their feet specifically on what we call sunset provisions, which is roughly about a decade into the deal. All the terms begin to expire, and Iran would have this ability to make a march to a nuclear weapon. The president is now telling the Europeans that unless they fix that, the deal is going to collapse. And that's the last thing that they want. I think actually the leverage right now is with the president as the clock winds down.
The Saudis obviously are no great friends of the Iranians, and here's a statement from the Saudi Crown Prince. He said President Obama believed that if he gave Iran opportunities to open up, it would change. But with a regime based on this ideology, it will not open up soon. 60% of the Iranian economy is controlled by the Revolutionary Guard. The economic benefits of the Iran nuclear deal are not going to the people. Is he right about that?
Absolutely, he's right. We're seeing billions of dollars flowing to the Assad regime in Syria, $1 billion a year going to Hezbollah, hundreds of millions of dollars going to Hamas, tens of millions of dollars going to the Houthis in Yemen, and of course, a huge amount of money going to the Revolutionary Guards themselves, as well as the Iranian ballistic missile program. All of the money that we have given Iran, I think they've turned around and spent on their adventurism abroad. And this is why we saw some of the people coming out into the streets several months ago protesting against the regime. They were expecting to see some benefits from the nuclear deal, and instead, not surprisingly, the Iranian regime has squandered those funds.
On Syria, you mentioned Syria a moment ago. There's been some mixed messaging coming from the president on Syria. The Pentagon could be planning to send more troops to that country after Mr. Trump suggested last week that the U.S. military would soon be pulling out. What's your view on the right way to proceed?
Well, first of all, I think we need to get our messages straight. I think our enemies will enjoy watching this confusion here in Washington, so it's important to get on the same page. But I think it's also important to note here that if we withdraw from Syria, it will be Obama 2.0. We're going to be handing the Iranians a victory, perhaps even a greater victory than what they got from the nuclear deal, which I think we all at this point agree to be extremely flawed. The Iranians have designs on controlling the entire Middle East. If we give them Syria, that is a significant piece of the puzzle for them. We need to avoid that at all costs.
Jonathan Schanzer from the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.